and I was asked. I was so vulnerable, Nikki. I was the most vulnerable I had ever been in my life. I spoke about everything that I was going through, all of my fears, everything. And I was told one thing. After everything happened, once the camera started rolling, it was something else.
Okay, so when you say you were told one thing, like what? Can you give me an example?
I was told that just let us know. We're here for you. Just let us know everything. So I told them about, not that I didn't want to sing, but at that time, my fear of singing because it had been so long. I guess that once you get it and you get to see it when it's time for finale, and then you get to see what people have been saying and they've been talking to you, I guess I had to realize, my realization of why I was ready for the next season. Oh, you're supposed to play a game. I was in there, I was being vulnerable. I was being very forthcoming. I was being upfront about who I really was. It's not that it's not reality TV. It's a real situation, but they make people jug at you to get a rise out of it because everybody liked that drama. I was not trying to sign up for no drama.
Right.
I didn't need no drink thrown in my face. I didn't.
Right.
If a drink got thrown
That
in my face,
wasn't what the
let
show
me
was
tell
supposed to
you
be about.
something.
Right, yeah.
Baby, look,
Yeah. Did you feel bullied?
And just to know all of the things and the back and forth and all that, so I felt like I was showing my backbone. I look like the biggest punk that I know that is not me. They show none of me being me.
So, Darlene, we like to make sure that every voice is represented on She Speaks Live, even if we don't agree.
Yeah.
We feel like it's a platform for people to have conversations.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, have we had some conversations, political conversations in the past. Take a look at this clip of Christine Beatty and Angela Stanton. Get right to it.
Here we go.
The reason why abortion for poor women and specifically African-American women has been an issue is because we were denied that for many years.
When were black women ever denied? No, I want you to speak factual. When were black women ever denied abortion?
Can I finish my sentence?
Because that's the only thing we've
Black
ever
women
been
were
offered for free.
No, we weren't. So we were denied. Abortion was illegal for many women, and definitely for poor women.
Before 1974, Title X funding was specifically for poor women to have abortion.
So Angela,
let her make a point. Let her make a point.
So that's what I'm saying again. Poor women are more impacted by illegal abortions, which is why when it became illegal, that was a big thing. We were impacted in terms of dying from illegal abortions more than anybody, poor women.
Back alley abortion.
So to have the access to abortion is important. Whether you choose to abort your child or not is a personal choice that you should be able to have. And the issue of pro-choice is, or pro-life is going to always be that issue that is very hot button in this country. But to move back to the debate stage, which that was not one of the topics discussed, but again, Kamala dropping out actually changes the field. And so now there were many women, who were behind her. I was not necessarily behind Kamala. I don't even have a pick at this point. She has a powerful voice, though, and I love the fact that she was a Howard alum. She was an African-American woman speaking truth to power. I think she had a bit of a problem speaking to her stance on criminal justice and how different issues that she addressed when she was AG of California. So I think, some people weren't, felt like she wasn't as forthcoming.
She voted against the First Step Act.
That was a tough thing. Well, a lot of people voted against it until they changed some things around it, but she ultimately voted for it. But the thing but the thing I wanted to say about the actual debate, it was great to see that being in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And being at Tyler Perry Studios.
It's a big deal.
To be on that whole, that soundstage. Here we are on this, history of Confederacy right here on this field, and now we're having an actual debate.
Democratic debate.
For president
is a big deal.
at an establishment that's now owned by an African-American man.
That's a big deal.
So that speaks to how far we've come, and when you put your mind to something, what you can do.
As it relates to this whole political discussion, I just be quiet and listen to these pros go at it, because
just
we
be
got,
like,
we got the Republicans and the Democrats.
Listen, here's
So
the
she
thing.
speaks live tonight.
At the end of the day,
love it.
it's two wings on the same bird, like we said
Absolutely.
before, and we have to level each other out. So we're not going to always agree, but the fact that we can agree to disagree and we can eventually come to terms to figure out what works best for us all.
Woo, we would love your opinion. And also, we want to know, this conversation about abortion is a big one. I'm sure some of you do not support abortion. I'm sure some of you do. We want to know whether you are pro-choice or not, and why. We're curious. So hit us up at She Speaks Live on Instagram. Baby, I told you. I told you. Did you see it? But what happens, and surprisingly, Angela was going to actually come and hang out with us today, but she's on the political campaign for another candidate who, Chris, you just told me, dropped out of
and
the
endorsed Trump. But again,
what happens if Trump wins? Anybody?
What happens
if Trump wins? Let's just see.
I want to talk about that
Please.
because I don't know if enough of us understand what Project 2025 is all about.
Okay.
That part.
And why Trump is trying to disassociate himself from Project 2025. First of all, if you haven't read it, you've got to do your due diligence
and I was
and read
blown
it
away.
because it's so much in it.
well, first
and
of
the
all,
fact
it's a
that
million pages long.
that part. But then the
let you
fact
know.
that he's distancing himself, I think that was all the plan.
Yeah.
And that's because, it's the Heritage Foundation. He can easily blame the Heritage Foundation. But why would you have a playbook with our government, with Donald Trump, his name is all throughout, the project for 2025, if it is not a plan for our government?
No question. And, I'm sorry, go ahead, Stacey, go ahead.
I was about to say it's kind of what Kamala said in her speech.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a fool. Now, well, she didn't say fool. That's
well,
my. That's
I
very subtle way. And a fool does not know what he's doing. He's so
Right.
in his own ego,
In his own
to where
world.
he doesn't even know. Did I just give them that? Who wants to? Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but no, on that point in terms of just he's dangerous, and that's what she was
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
What she said was he is not a serious man.
That's
but
what it was.
aside from that, is he's dangerous. So what happens to our country is all of the things that she outlined.
Yeah.
Could you imagine he's going to be going after journalists, other
Yes, he
political
is.
foes, women's reproductive rights,
right.
which he supposedly came out and said, oh, now women's reproductive rights are going to be safe under us. Save that because the
Yeah.
Supreme Court already did what you asked it to do.
Period.
So
that you're
literally
so proud of.
Yeah,
Right.
that you
Yeah.
continue to do. So don't play the game in the switch right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be dangerous
It
for our
is.
country in terms of anything that is progressive for people who want to move forward. As Kamala said, we are not going back.
We're not going
That's
back.
what he wants us to do. That's what Project 2025 does. Takes us back light years.
And let me tell you, just as a nationally syndicated radio host, I was very concerned when I read the fact that they want to gut the FCC
Yeah,
and
that's
make
crazy.
everyone at the FCC report to
Yeah.
the president.
Yeah.
And if they're not loyalists,
Yeah.
then you don't have radio. You don't have
Yeah.
radio. You don't have television. He will be
That's
able to cut it off. And I'm just like,
Dictator.
what do you mean?
Trump is his only client.
I
That's
did
what
notice
she
where he
said.
said there was a clip of him saying, like, you see the way that people bow down to him and do
Yes.
what he says? I want
He
them to do
loves
that. I want my
dictators.
people to do that to
Yeah,
me.
He
he's-
loves
he
dictators.
idolizes
What?
people like
Oh, yeah, you
Putin
gotta see the clip.
But they
Yeah.
already
and
do
Kim
that.
Jong-un. And so the thing is,
Because he wants to
that's
be
not
them.
what this is.
Yeah.
This is
then
a
go
democracy.
there. Then go there. Go
Yes.
there and run for office. That's
Yeah.
that's not what this is. This is
Absolutely.
America, and we've built America. The black folks, white folks, immigrants of all kinds. Nobody is
On our
from
backs.
here except the Native Americans. So everybody is an immigrant.
Right.
Right.
So what you don't get to do is try to change this into something that you idolize in a whole nother country. Go there with the dictatorship and be a part.
Period.
That's not what we're doing
That
here.
part.
Because they going to flip
That is
on
not
you
what we're
real
doing
quick.
here. Right.
Oh, you here?
Right.
Oh, have a seat, Mr. Trump. Have a drink.
Because if he
We
goes over
prepared
there,
it
he can't
especially
do
for
that.
you.
Have a drink. Yeah, have a drink.
Period.
Yeah.
That's
Goodness.
crazy. And what's really crazy to me is that the number of people who are supporting him, 2 is too many as far as I'm concerned. But do you
Absolutely.
think, and I'm asking my smart friends, do you think, we're all geeked up. We saw the DNC. We saw a whole lot of people. We are team Kamala.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely.
Kamala.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that people can get too caught up in the hype and believe in,
That's
it's
why
done?
getting
It's
them
done.
to
She's
the
that's
got
the
it.
scary
is so
part.
important.
That's what I get nervous about.
Yeah, that's why
Is they
getting them
see-
to the polls is so important.
We have
If
to keep
we
pushing
can
everybody.
little
It's not
John
enough
it,
to just post
we can
and all that.
Oprah
Oh, no, you gotta
it, we
walk.
can
You gotta
have
walk
great
to the- gotta get
speeches,
to the
but if
polls.
you do not have people at those polls, I'm talking about those people who wake up that morning and they just got off at
Right.
3 o'clock in the morning because they
Right.
working the late shift.
Right.
That's why that 7 for 47 is so important.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's who you can get to the polls. If
That's
you
it.
can't get them people to the polls, we just had a great historic DNC.
Yeah.
Period.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
turned
all
up.
about
And that was
getting
all.
people to the
Absolutely.
polls.
Like he said,
And
the party.
it is what, again, I hate to keep going back to fabulous Michelle Obama. Do something.
Do
Your
something.
do
Yeah.
something is to vote.
Yeah.
That is it. We cannot get laxed. And every person, Hillary said it, Barack said it, Michelle said it. Don't get comfortable. We're basking in the joy of the hype.
Yes.
No,
Right.
it's time to go to work because
Yes.
they're not taking their foot off the gas and we can't either. This is
Yeah.
one of those kill a fly with a sledgehammer.
Ooh.
That right
Period.
there.
I love, like Barack
We
Obama
working
said,
I
don't
had
move, vote, don't
Don't
party,
vote.
vote.
Yeah, don't
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
Yeah, don't post, vote.
Right.
You can do all those things. Don't jest. Vote.
Right.
Vote.
Yeah.
But then I want you to talk about the fact that this particular election, we have so many seats that we can flip.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So
So
how
we
does that
got to
go?
vote all the way down.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
And when you
I
hear
didn't know
people
that.
say that, vote the ticket. Oh, yeah. Because right now, the Senate is up. We have a very small majority, which is what Kamala, part of her vice presidency, she broke so many tie breaks in the Senate to give us certain things that the Biden administration was able to implement because she was there to break the tie. We want to make the majority a little higher for Democrats in the Senate. We want
yes.
to take back the House if we
Yes.
can.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I wouldn't, and let me say this, I'm not somebody who thinks Democrats should just run everything, but with the MAGA Republican movement and the type of extremists that you have, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and all those
Yes.
clowns that sit in the actual seat of power, then yeah, no, that's not what we want. That's not even
Yeah.
a person you can negotiate with. And you even heard her talk about this. One of the craziest things, they had secured a border deal between some of the most conservative Republicans and the Democrats. They had come to a deal, and Donald Trump
Oh,
called up his
yeah.
supporters and said,
blocked
don't
it.
support it. Yes, block, but don't vote it. Don't do it
Yeah.
because it's going to look bad for me and my election. They
Exactly.
will look like they solved a problem.
Wow.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
she said
And killed it.
That
But
is
then that was out
crazy.
there. They
That's so
been the
petty
thing.
and dumb.
And then what they're doing now is through fear, running these ads that look like she doesn't care and the Biden administration doesn't care about the border. Absolutely they did. That's why they brokered the deal. And you killed it.
Dangerous.
Wow.
Dangerous.
That's dangerous.
But then that goes back to, and I said this earlier, Donald Trump is his only client. He
Yeah,
is his, not
That's deep.
America,
That's
not
deep.
the voices of single mothers, not the voices
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know, women who, did you remember she mentioned all of these? She said she spoke with women in small towns and who wanted to get abortions or
Oh,
who did.
well,
Oh no,
and-
I heard that
yeah,
one
yeah,
abortion
but-
story on the call.
Yes.
Where the lady almost died. There was
Yes,
a story of
yes.
a woman
Oh, my
and her son,
God.
her husband, fought to have a baby.
Yes.
Doctors would not remove the baby from
Yes.
her.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they're
'Cause they
scared they're
don't
going to
wanna
be
be
jailed.
She became
Yes.
septic
Yes.
and almost died.
Yes. That
Because
has
they
happened
had
a ton.
Wow.
A ton. That's the
Yeah.
story.
That's-
Because especially in states like
Jesus.
Texas, those states that have changed the rules to comply or to be in line with the Supreme Court ruling, they couldn't wait for that to come down because they could change it because it's done state by state. So those states where abortion is legal are kind of the safe states now. That's what you mean by going back. That's how it used to be.
We are
right?
not going
You had
back.
to sneak somewhere
We
to
are
try to
not.
get
That is
the medical
crazy.
care you need, whether it's an abortion or a DNC, all those things. You had to sneak. Or women in the back alleys
Yeah,
trying to
back
get
in the
things.
day,
Yes.
back alley
Yes.
abortions.
Yes.
Oh, wow, there it
Yes.
is.
That's where
And
we're
so
going.
that-
That's
that's
where
back.
he's
That's
trying
what
to take
she means.
us.
That is
Yes.
the point. That's going back. No,
We're not doing
and, so, and I think it was Kamala, but don't. Maybe it was Kerry Washington, but one of them said, "I refuse to live in a society where my daughters have less rights than my mother."
Than my mother.
Ooh.
Not
Isn't that
doing
something?
it.
Ooh.
But that's the
Not
reality.
doing it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what
Do
we're up
something.
against.
Do
No,
something.
That is what we're doing, and not just in the form of women's rights. All of our civil rights, our voting rights,
Our voting
everything.
rights, yes.
We're
Yeah.
not going back.
It's crazy. Well,
We
we see
already-
what's happening in the
they've struck down
courts.
affirmative action.
Baby.
Hey, come
It's
on.
crazy. So let me get into this because you're getting married.
Yeah.
You're married.
Yes.
I'm married.
Woo.
And we praying marriage for Chris.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
My boo.
Relationships, y'all.
Yes.
Let me tell you, if you out there in these streets,
Yes.
there is something that is happening with our brothers and Donald Trump. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Certain things about him appeal, surprisingly, to black men. We love our husbands.
Yes.
We love
Yes.
our fiancés.
Yes.
We love our men.
Yes.
We cannot have our relationships fall apart because of an election.
That's
And they don't
exactly
have
right.
to.
So
They don't have
explain.
to. You
Okay,
can have
talk
two
about it.
points of view. If you are in a healthy romantic relationship, you are an individual and your partner is an individual. Why does it have to be division just in a conversation? I mean, it could, if you have the conversation right, it could lead to a great bedroom conversation. But you know, some
You know
great
what,
things
Stacey,
in the
that
bedroom.
sounds good.
But if you're
Come on, darling.
But if
I was just about to say.
but if it's challenged,
Yeah.
and you want to blame it on politics, then the bigger issue is your communication and not having a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Well, and that does sound good, and I agree. I do not disagree.
Hold on, let me
But
finish.
we are in
because
this.
my fiance and I, he is a conservative. Okay?